I got monetized in 30 days starting from 0 subscribers and 0 views. No begging for subs, no cheating the system, and if you copy and paste this exact video plan that I used, you can absolutely do the same. Now, the channel in question is this channel right here called Monk. From the very first upload that I made, it literally took me 23 days to go from $0, as you can see here, to monetized on the 23rd. And inside my school community, I've helped tons of guys also get results on their faceless commentary channels. For example, this guy right here who went from being stuck to getting 75,000 views on a video, which set his channel up for success. Because once you stop guessing when you're posting your videos and actually follow a system, getting to 1k subs and 4,000 hours of watch time to actually getting monetized, it becomes predictable. Today I'm going to show you exactly how I did it and exactly the system that you can use to do it as well. I'm not going to be hiding anything in this video at all. I'm literally going to be showing you everything. Now, this video is going to be a brief overview, but if you actually want to see this in full detail, where you'll get video ideas, hours worth of videos literally going in autistic detail about every single step I'll be outlining today, in my complete faceless commentary course right here, a literal faceless editing pack that I made, which is guaranteed to make your videos so good, plus a community of people that are literally on the exact same path as I am, that'll all be inside of my school community, which will be top link in the description if you want to check it out. You absolutely don't have to join it. You can absolutely get results using the free videos on this YouTube channel, but that's just something if you want to speed up your progress. And even if you don't join, I'm literally going to be breaking down in this video the entire plan for free. Now, this is the exact 3-part video plan that I followed to hit monetization on this Monk channel right here. And this upload structure, I literally followed to hit monetization while I was still graduating high school. I was literally in my final year in like the last few months, and I was still able to hit these monetization goals in 23 days. You can literally still have a second job, you can still be in school and do this, and you can absolutely make it work. In 2025, it isn't about throwing random videos out there and seeing what works and, you know, like just hoping that the algorithm likes you. There's a genuine system you can follow, and it blows up channels and makes them still work to this day. So let's start from the very beginning, and first we're going to be talking about tools that you'll need. So before we even make the channel, before we even talk about like the niche, the editing, thumbnails, all that sort of stuff, first you're going to need a few tools. So this is like for the absolute beginners. There's a few tools I'll literally just list out right now. These are the ones that I personally use. You've got Notion, Discord, 4K video downloader. The 4K video downloader is basically just an easy way to download YouTube videos. Now for your editing and thumbnails, the software you're going to need. So first, I mean, the option is Creative Cloud, the Adobe Creative Cloud. This is paid, and Adobe, in all honesty, is a very, very greedy company. So unless you have the funds for literally like 50 USD per month, I wouldn't recommend this option. If you're literally just starting out like I was when I was like 13 to 15, sometimes the school that you go to might actually have a Creative Cloud software. I mean, the school that I went to had a Creative Cloud license, meaning I was able to use Premiere Pro, Photoshop, After Effects, Illustrator, all completely for free. But if you don't have that option, there are a couple of alternatives that are very, very good that I didn't have back in the day. For thumbnails, you can use Canva. It's absolutely, you know, it can absolutely do. And for video editing, you can use CapCut. I think CapCut's a little bit worse now than it was a few years ago, at least the free version. But there is a paid version, I think, for about $20 a month. But yeah, you can absolutely do videos on CapCut for free. Next, we have browser extensions. There's a couple that I need you to download. We have NextLev, which is made by Noah Morris. It's basically this one right here. You can use the free plan if you want, but it's probably best to get the light plan, which is about £13 a month. But you can absolutely use the free plan. There's no problems with that. And the second one is ViewStats by Mr. Beast. Now this one, you don't have to get the pro version of this. You can absolutely use the free one. Now for your recording software, use OBS. It's exactly what I'm using right now. It's free. It's been free for ages. It's literally the best thing I've ever used in my life. Also, Audacity. It's the recording software that I use. It's the one I'm using to make this video right now. And yeah, there's probably a few others that, you know, you can use later down the line, but for right now, those about 9, I think it is, are basically all the tools you need. Now that you've got all those tools, let's go to niche. So the core insight here is that with your niche, you shouldn't be chasing RPM at all. Unless you've been doing this for years, right? Unless you're literally like a veteran, which, I mean, if you're watching this video right now, you probably aren't a veteran at YouTube. You probably haven't been doing this for very long. I'd say a few months, maybe a couple of years even. The one thing I need to say is that if you're starting a channel, do not chase the RPM. Seriously, you should be chasing what you actually care about. Your interest and understanding of a niche is so easily gonna beat a high RPM. Because if you don't know anything about a niche, right, and you're just starting faceless commentary for the first time, especially at the start, choosing a niche that you're interested in, you're gonna be getting so many more views, which is going to beat the RPM that you would get in a high RPM niche anyway. You're not gonna get any views in a niche you don't know anything about. So for example, when I first started out, right, if I did Roblox drama, for example, I don't know anything about Roblox. I never played Roblox growing up, so like, it might be a more high leverage RPM niche than some other niches that, you know, I might be a bit better at. So for example, the Roblox drama niche might have a higher RPM than the sort of stuff that I was doing when I first started the Glider Guy channel, which was like me talking about influencers and doing all that sort of stuff. But the thing is, I know more about influencers. I know more about, you know, like Morgs and Eli So Cray, all these weird YouTubers I was making videos on at the time. I knew more about that, so it was obvious that I was going to have a better understanding, and that comes out in the videos that I was making. So obviously when my channel blew up, I had a lot more leverage. I knew exactly what I was talking about. You can experiment with different niches once you've got your second or third channel set up, once you understand how the game works and can replicate what you're doing in other niches. But when you're first starting out, please, for the love of God, do not fall for this RPM crap of like, oh, you should do finance, you should do this, this, and that. If you're 13 years old, you don't know anything about finance. You're not going to have any valuable insight, and therefore your videos are not going to blow up. Alright, next is branding. And when I say branding, I'm talking about profile picture, banner, you know, name, all that sort of stuff. Realistically, this is going to be so short. Do not waste more than 5 minutes on this. Genuinely, like 5 real-time minutes. Do not be wasting time on this. Viewers literally do not care how pretty your banner is. I mean, like literally on the Monk channel, I've got subscribe or else. This is a banner I made literally like 5 years ago. The @ in Glider Guy YT, that's not even my @ anymore. I haven't updated this banner for so long. It genuinely doesn't matter that much. Same with the profile picture. I mean, on Monk, I literally just have this like Mordecai picture right here. On Glider Guy, I've literally had this same profile picture for 7 years. It has not changed since the start of my channel. I'm not joking. Now, in terms of the actual channel name, there are a couple of rules. So firstly, make it one word if possible. If I could go back in time with Glider Guy, I would probably change it to Glider, if I'm being totally honest, but it's a little bit late. I probably wouldn't change it now. So when I made the Monk channel, I tried to make it as simple as possible. Just try and make sure that, you know, when you're making your username, it's just as simple as you possibly can. If you're gonna have like a bunch of syllables, like it's kind of unrememberable. The only rule for the channel name is just make it something to where, like, if someone watches one video and they go to their friends and they're like, oh, you know, I was watching this YouTube channel, but I can't remember the name because it was too long or it was too confusing, then you've probably done something wrong. Have it simple, have it clean. If someone watches a Monk video and tell their friends about it, they instantly know what the channel name is when they bring it up. They're not gonna have to sit there scrambling in their head trying to remember what the name is. It's instant, it's rememberable, and it's short, which is the main thing. Now, the only thing with branding here is that try to make it consistent in terms of the color scheme. So Glider Guy is a little bit harder to do that, but I guess what we try and do is we try to make it as green as we possibly can. So obviously the profile picture's green, the banner's a little bit green as well. And what we try to do with each thumbnail is have like a little daytime background. So we have a lot of grass in the background. So we just try to have a green element in every thumbnail. And as you can see, I guess it works a little bit here. It's not too important, but it's just something to keep in mind as you're watching. And for the Monk channel, it's sort of the same thing. So if we sort by latest, basically everything is blue right here. Like the whole idea of the channel is to have it be blue, and the whole idea for the Glider Guy channel is to just like try have it be green. This isn't too important, but it's just something that subtly for returning viewers makes them want to click on every single video. It's just a bit of branding, right? It makes it recognizable. It increases your regular viewers, which is absolutely the most important thing for this business model that I teach. Because a lot of faceless gurus talk about like, you know, like really high trending channels, whether it be like the Diddy niche, for example, whether it be the presidential election where they just like pop up channels, kind of like lemonade stands, pop them up for a few weeks, generate like $40,000, and then the channels just instantly die. That is absolutely not what we're teaching here, and that's not to say that, you know, that those channels are bad by any means. You can absolutely do those channels where they pop up for a few weeks and then just like die off instantly. But these channels right here are built to last, and this is the type of stuff you got to be thinking about when you make the channels. Anyways, now we move on to branding and ideation research. So this is a very, very important section. If you don't do this, your channel will almost definitely fail. Like I've really got no doubt about it. This is the most important thing you should do right before posting your first video. So we haven't even thought about making videos right now. We haven't made a single video. This is something you absolutely have to do. So here's the step-by-step system, exactly how I do it. So the first thing, obviously, you got to pick your niche, and once you've picked your niche, we got to find 60 channels inside of that niche. Now 60 does seem like a lot, but with the tools that we talked about before, specifically the Next Level extension and the View Stats by Mr. Beast extension, you can find 60 channels so quickly. It's not even funny. So literally the first thing you do, so I'll use the Glider Guy channel for an example. So if we click the analyze button on this channel right here, I'll let it do its thing on the Next Level extension. If you have, I think you need the Pro extension to be able to do this, but basically there should be an analyze feature on every single channel. So if we're going to use my channel as an example, again, basically this extension buckets my content or buckets the channel that you're trying to analyze into a bunch of different niches. So for example, we've got general commentary, we've got brain rot critiques, Roblox critiques, and creator exposés. So my channel, for example, is basically like an AI kids content reactions, brain rot reactions, and sort of more general commentary. It's for a bit of a younger audience, right? But the thing is, right, all you have to do when looking at a niche like this, for example, so if you wanted to go into this niche, what you do is find basically the biggest person in the niche. So that isn't me, for example. So for example, in my niche, I already know who the biggest person is, and that is Rith. So what you do quite simply is literally go to this guy's channel, go to similar channels using the Next Level extension, click in-depth search, click search, and just let it do its thing. So it'll sit here, make sure you sort it by videos, obviously, and just let it do its thing for about 3 minutes. And what it will do is literally just go through every single channel that is similar to Rith. It's on 10%, so you gotta wait a little bit. Okay, so this hasn't been going for the full 100%, it's on 30% right now, but let's just say, for example, this was at 100%. It's not, it's gonna be a lot more accurate at 100%, but literally all you do is go through all these channels, you literally just like middle click, go through every single channel on here, find probably about 50 to 60 channels. Some of these channels that go down more towards the bottom aren't going to be related, they kind of just get like bundled in there. Basically anything above like a 40% score is going to be somewhat related to the niche that you're talking about. Go through every single channel, and what you do is you note them down either through the Next Level extension, there's like a swipe file sort of thing you can do. You can create a folder, and basically what you're going to do is you're going to create 2 folders, either in a literally like a notepad document like this right here. You can go under 100k, over 100k, and literally just note down every single channel that you go through in either one of those categories. Now, once you've found about 60 channels that you've verified are in the niche and either fall into under 100k or over 100k, is we move over to ChatGPT, and this is where, you know, things get really insane from here. What you can do is go to a new chat, and basically for every single channel, so, you know, 50, 60 channels, this might take a very long time, but the more research you do here and the deeper you go into this, the better it's gonna be. So for example, let's use the Rith channel. So let's say we're trying to use the Rith channel right here. We will literally copy about the last 6 to 12 months of this guy's video. So literally just scroll through. We'll stop it at about 6 months, because I think for a niche like this, I think more recent stuff is better. Go into ChatGPT, paste it in here, and then all you have to do is just use a prompt like this. So let me pull it up here. Be something like, analyze this competitor, identify title formulas, thumbnail styles, and patterns for high performing videos I can replicate. And my thing might mess up a little bit because I've got so much data in ChatGPT, but basically it'll come out with a bunch of stuff talking about title formulas. So for example, on the Rith channel, it'll show you that, you know, this title formula right here will work. This plus noun plus verb descriptor. So it'll give you a bunch of examples as well. This brain rot show will ruin Gen Alpha, and that uses this title thumbnail, like title formula right here. Basically, it does the exact same thing as when you click this analyze button right here, but you can also do it in ChatGPT. There's a few versions you can do it with now. And literally, if you go through on this one little page right here, so if you do it all in the same page, you go to the next channel, so whether that be, I don't know, the Monk channel, for example, it's obviously in a different niche, so you wouldn't do that, but like you'd paste a bunch of glider guy videos in here, for example, use the same little prompt, you do that for 60 channels, you will have so much data, so much thumbnail data, so much, like, so many title formulas that are going to be able to work for both channels over 100k and under 100k. You will literally have so much data, and you can literally just ask ChatGPT. We'll see in the next sort of things that I'm about to talk about, exactly how you can replicate the videos in this niche. And you might be wondering why we're using channels that are both over 100k and under 100k. So the thing is, when a smaller channel, so for example, the Monk channel, we could call a smaller channel. When a smaller channel has an outlier, for example, here's an outlier, where is it? This video right here, TikTok gym girls are ruining the gym. It got 310k views. It's a 9 times outlier, as you can see by the Mr. Beast view stats extension. When it gets an outlier like that, it is mostly new viewers, right? And as a new channel like yourself, who is setting up a new channel right here, when you get a high outlier on a smaller channel, that is much more proof that it's probably going to work for you, rather than having, for example, Rith, which is a much larger channel, getting an outlier. Because some of these outliers might just be from like regular viewers that have watched Rith before, but you know, that they might come back to him. Whereas on a smaller channel, it's basically all new viewers, meaning that if you do it, it's probably going to work for you a lot better than, for example, an outlier on Rith. When a big video pops off on a bigger channel, it's normally just a bunch of returning fans, is basically what I'm trying to say here. It's more of a weak signal for virality on a smaller channel. So what I'm trying to say is take a lot more inspiration from your videos that are the under 100k than over 100k. That's basically it. But you can still absolutely take inspiration from bigger channels. So now we move on to the first 15 video ideas. So now that we've got a thumbnail and title packaging formula down pat using our little like researching formula we just did on ChatGPT and using the analyze feature on the Nextlev extension, now we move on to the system that I use to blow this monk channel up right here. So the goal of this thing right here is to get 100 video ideas in total. So first thing we're going to be doing is using the Nextlev extension. And again, like we said before, starting with channels that are under 100k. So any channels that you've got right here that are under 100k, I don't have them noted down, but I do have a little page for the Glider Guy channel. Start with the channels that are under 100k. So for example, in the Glider Guy niche, this is the channel that I use a fair bit. It's called Valani. Basically anything that's more than a 5 times outlier score or around the 5 times outlier score, instantly save. So what you can do when you have the Nextlev extension is you can literally click on these 3 dots right here, go save to swipe file, and you can save it to a folder. So you can make a folder called, you know, inspiration videos from under 100k and inspiration videos from over 100k. And you can sort it by 5 times here as well, like a 5 times outlier. Literally just save everything that is 5 times on the smaller channels under 100k. And what you want to do, especially in a niche like this, is ignore any videos that are over 3 months old. Different niches that are more evergreen, like I guess history channels, you can probably, you know, go a little bit further than that. But niches like this in the commentary space, which are a lot more, I guess, new and, you know, trendy, you probably want to stick to things that are less than 3 months old. And basically you go through every single one of those under 100k channels, save a bunch of videos. If you see an idea that is less than 5 times outlier and you know, like you can literally look at it and see that it's going to go viral, you can of course save them as well, but like it's just sort of a general rule of thumb. Try to only be saving the ones that are like, you know, a 5 times outlier. And then do the exact same thing for the channels that are over 100k. So, you know, same thing here. If you find any good outliers, maybe like 2 to 3 times, you can instantly save them to the swipe file. And again, it's probably best to ignore the videos that are over 3 months old. And now, once you have literally 100 ideas, so, bro, if you're going through 60 channels, you should instantly find 100 ideas. That really shouldn't be that hard. What we do then is pick the best 15. So literally go into a Google Doc, go into new, and literally just go 1, video idea, 2, BMO, for example, that's one of the ideas, Labubu, Brainrot. Literally just go through and pick the best 15 that you found. And now here's the fun part, right? Don't overthink anything right here. Literally just start. Go through every single idea, make a video about each of them. I don't care if you think that it might not work. I don't care if you think, oh, well, this one might not work. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Literally pick the best 15. Just make videos about them. And I do not want you to stop. I want you to promise me right now, you will not stop until you've done these first 15 videos. I want you to set a posting schedule. So for example, on the Glider Guy channel, I go basically bi-daily, so every 2 days. If you're unemployed like me, you could probably go daily if you wanted to, but like every 2 days is probably recommended. You can get a whole lot of good quality in your content as well as making sure that you don't burn yourself out. Every 2 days is recommended, but the absolute minimum I'd say is anything less than twice a week, and you're probably not going to be seeing results. And if you do see results, all the viewers that you do have, if you're like waiting weeks in between your uploads, they're just going to move on to the next thing. They're going to forget about you, and by the time you do your next video, you're not going to get any return viewers. Anything less than 2 times a week, especially as a new channel, YouTube's just going to have way too little data, and it kind of just like breaks the algorithm feedback loop. And the final note about this right here is that if the quality has to drop to slightly maintain an upload pace early on, that's absolutely fine. Consistency builds audience feedback, right? The quality can improve later, and that's exactly what I tried to do for the Monk channel. So the Monk channel at the start, I went daily, which, I mean, again, you don't have to do. I'd recommend doing every 2 days, especially if you have a part-time job or you're still going to school. Going daily might drop your quality a bit too much. But again, no less than 2 times a week. Like, for the love of God, especially with commentary videos, you're gonna need to be doing a bit more than that. Especially if you want consistent revenue in the future. You're gonna be uploading a lot more than just once a week. Right, now that we've got everything set up, we've basically got the video ideas, we've got a title formula, we've got a packaging formula down pat. Now we can move on to the content production. So this is day 2 to 30. So basically, this is what you're gonna be doing for the first month after we've done all of our research, after we've done our niche, you know, thumbnail, packaging, all that sort of stuff. And the hard truth about this, right, is that creating the channel is fun, doing all this sort of stuff, like researching, it's all fun, and like all the theorizing stuff is fun, but uploading daily or bi-daily or twice a week gets boring really, really fast. Let me tell you right now. It's fun for the first couple of days. The first video is super fun. The second video is like, okay, we're starting to get a bit going here. The third, fourth, fifth video, that's when things start to get really difficult, especially if you've never done this before. There's a misconception going around that YouTube's just this like fun thing. It's just like, oh, you just get to make videos all day, you just get to lounge around and do nothing. Absolutely not, bro. It is not like that at all. And if you actually do this, like for real, if you actually do videos, and any YouTubers watching this are gonna know this, it gets boring very, very fast. Most people quit here, especially when their first few videos, like mine did, and it's hard to see now because all of these numbers are inflated. But back when I first started this Monk channel, these first probably 8 videos literally got like 2 views in the first day each. And this is coming from someone that had already had 5 years of experience before making this Monk channel. Each one of these videos didn't get more than 10 views in the first day. Most people would quit here, right? Most people would quit before getting to 8 videos. But your job in the first month of making your channel is to literally just, like, it does not matter. I don't care how low your videos are getting. I don't care if you get 0 views in the first 10 uploads. Make 15 videos, because your first 15 videos are like a warm-up set. You shouldn't be aiming for perfection in these first 15 videos. You shouldn't be aiming for the perfect video, trying to make things perfect. Like, bro, I don't care how many views you get with your first 15 uploads. Just post them, just use the ideas that you've already brainstormed in this document right here, and just do the first 15 videos. I don't care if you have to skip things, like, I don't care if you have to, like make sure that you can stay on top of your schedule. Just make sure it happens. I don't care how you do it, just make sure it happens. Because you're going to learn more from literally just posting these first 15 videos that you've done all by yourself than any time when you create a new channel or try and switch your niche. Like, literally, if you've picked something, just stick to it for 15 videos. And one thing I want you to add in right here, and this is going to be probably what gets your channel to actually blow up, is every single time you upload a long form video here, add 2 shorts per long form upload if you can. I mean, you can only do 1 if you want to, but doing 2 per long form upload is probably going to be the best thing. So for example, with the shorts that I did on this Monk channel, the first long form video right here is called Zong is Being Haunted. My very first 2 shorts on this Monk channel right here are about a Spice King and Zong. So in the same niche, but one of them is literally like directly related to the long form video. So one of these shorts should be a niche related short, just something that's in the niche but not exactly tied to the long form video that you just did. And then the other one should directly link to the long form video. So I got a Zong short right here, and then the long form video is about Zong. And what I do in this short that is directly linked to the long form video is that I will put in the related video this long form video that I did about Zong. So I'll literally link the 2 together. And anyone who knows anything about shorts and like the reason why we do these shorts is that shorts equals impressions basically instantly. It doesn't matter how good your short is, it will get you out of what I like to call 0 view jail. So a lot of times when you have 0 subscribers and 0 views and you post a video literally into thin air, it will just get 0 views for like the first day, 2 days, week, whatever. What doing shorts will do is get you out of that 0 view jail. It'll start getting some impressions, even if those impressions aren't very valuable, because, you know, shorts views aren't very valuable compared to long form views. What it does is just get you a couple of viewers, get you a couple of people that, you know, might be interested in your long form content. Shorts basically feeds the system very, very quickly. It's like a jump start in a car, right? Imagine your car's out of battery. Like you just post a couple shorts, essentially in this case, and it basically just like jump starts the channel. It jump starts the car. So 2 shorts daily, or like 2 shorts every single time you post a long form video, that's literally the best way to get yourself out of 0 view jail and start getting a couple views on the board. Start getting a couple of viewers that might, you know, that might click the related video and go to your long form content. Like your first 1 to 2 returning viewers that come back and watch every single long form video, even if they stumbled upon your short first to go to that long form video, is so valuable, and it is literally game changing. YouTube notices that and instantly starts recommending your long form content more. And shorts isn't the long term game here. Shorts isn't the long term thing that actually gets you to, you know, like a few $1,000s a month or whatever, but it jumpstarts your long form content if you do it correctly, like the way I've literally just explained it. And that's literally the reason the Monk channel got monetized in 23 days. So as a little bit of a recap, so basically day 1, we're literally setting up, ideating, branding, getting our first 15 ideas. Days 2 to 30, we're posting 15 long form videos, which is like kind of what I recommend, and 30 shorts for those, you know, 15 long form videos. 2 uploads per day, or just, you know, 2 shorts whenever you post a long form video. And the thing you gotta understand, right, again, in this first month, your long form videos are probably only going to be getting 2 to 14 views, like every time you upload in the first day or whatever. It does not matter. Keep going going until you get those first 15 videos out. Again, I don't care if you have 0 views in your first 8 videos. Keep going until you get 15. 15 I feel like is the sweet spot to where you can determine whether you might be shadow banned, whether, you know, there might be something internal going wrong. But do not talk to me about being shadow banned. I hear this all the time. I hear people using this excuse about being shadow banned. Do not talk to me about being shadow banned until you have 15 videos out. That is the blanket rule I set. Anyways, now let's move on to thumbnails. Now, if your thumbnails suck, your video basically dies before it even starts. Like, I'm pretty sure it's common knowledge, but I just have to put that out there. People scroll YouTube in milliseconds in 2025. It's getting worse and worse every single year. Your thumbnails need to be better and better year on year. Contrast and clarity in your thumbnails are an absolute non-negotiable. So there's a few actionable lessons I'm going to be teaching right now. So, thumbnails are your #1 priority for your entire channel. Obviously, I think video ideas probably come before that actually, but thumbnails are a priority. And that's why before we're even talking about doing scripting and editing and recording, your thumbnails should literally be done before you even think about like recording the video, scripting it out, doing anything like that. Now, the good thing about faceless commentary is that your thumbnails don't have to be extremely high quality, extremely good. The #1 thing I want to talk about is that these early Monk videos right here, the thumbnails were so basic. It was literally just a face or an asset with a contrasting background and a little filter on top to make it kind of unique. I used this service called befunky.com and I literally just like added a little like cartoon base on here. If I can go back to the channel, I added this little like cartoon effect onto every thumbnail. Now, I want to talk about what worked here. So the early thumbnails right here basically looked like they were hand-drawn. They weren't actually hand-drawn. I literally just like grabbed a photo from whether it be a Zong thumbnail, whether it be just like a Spice King video right here, a Top of Guild video, something like that. The early thumbnails like mimicked basically a hand-drawn thing. And this unique texture basically gave this a little bit of uniqueness in 2023 when everyone was still making commentary videos where it was just the face of someone. It was just a plain boring photo. This gave it something to, you know, give it a bit of uniqueness. And when the channel started blowing up after like the 8th or 9th video right here, I rinsed the absolute hell out of this. It's what made the Monk channel stand out. It's what made me unique. Now, when I talk about contrast, right, there are basically 5 ways you can create contrast in your thumbnails, and I use them basically every single time here. The first one is light versus dark, so the foreground and the background. The background in this Zong thumbnail, for example, is, you know, like the spooky background right here, and the foreground is the Zong asset, and I basically use this same thing for every single thumbnail. So the foreground being Zong, I would make it a lot more light when we're talking about light versus dark, and then the background, I made the thumbnail a bit more dark. The second one is temperature. So for example, when I say temperature, I'm talking about the foreground being warm, making sure that the character asset has warmer colors, so, you know, reds, yellows, that sort of thing. And then the background uses some more cooler colors like blue, and that creates contrast that way. The next one is saturation. So obviously we're talking about like actual color saturation. What I do is make sure that the subject in the video pops out, making it more saturated, and then I dull the background, making it desaturated. That's how you create contrast that way. The next one is complementary colors. So what you can do is go to Adobe Color Wheel. This tool right here, you can use it in a few different ways. You can use complementary, which basically is, I'm pretty sure all you guys know what this means. You can spin this wheel around, and whatever way you spin it, whatever like opposite colors, you know, you can see on this color wheel, if you use them against each other, so for example, in this case, you can use orange as the foreground, and blue in the background. I've done this so many times on the Monk channel where I use blue in the background and orange in the foreground, it's not even funny. This is a good example right here, TikTok's most hated eating channel. There's a lot of orange in the foreground and blue in the background right there. Or what you can do is use split complementary, which if you have more than one asset in the foreground, you can have a couple foreground elements here and then one background element in a different color. With the Adobe Color Wheel, you basically cannot go wrong. So if you use that, that's a good way to create contrast that way. Also, another way to create contrast is using shadows and outlines. So in every single foreground element, I like to have a shadow which separates it from the background. It's pretty obvious. Those are the 5 ways you can create contrast, and that right there, just that little bit right there, rewind that part if you need to, that will up your thumbnail game by an absolute mile if you've never done thumbnails before. Now, when we're talking about text, so a lot of people like to use text in their thumbnails. I'm kind of for it if you're new to making YouTube thumbnails, if you're new to it. Basically, if you're going to be using text, a big issue I see is a lot of people just using way too much text, using way too many words. Thumbnails are extremely small. Like, a lot of people make their thumbnails on computer, myself included, so you have a lot of you have a bit of a bias, right? When you add a lot of words onto a thumbnail, you can see it when you're editing it in a like a big computer screen, right? But what you have to do is zoom out. If you literally zoom out, right, and you can't make out what's going on in one of these thumbnails right here, then you're doing it wrong. My rule of thumb is I only use 3 words max if I'm going to be using words in my thumbnails. Every word has to earn its spot. That's basically the way I like to have it. Set a quality standard for your thumbnail where every word has to earn it. It should be readable on iPhone thumbnail previews. For example, when I used to have this like TikTok text box on my Monk videos, I made sure that it was literally like 3 words at a max. For example, this only fatties allowed thing, it's very easily readable on mobile. Back in the day, I was a lot worse with it, where I'd literally have like 4 or 5 or 6 words here, and these videos did not do as well. Basically, the takeaways here: simplicity wins, contrast equals views, and design your thumbnails for a phone screen, not a desktop monitor. Now let's move on to scripting, and this one is pretty important. The hard truth, right, is that if your intro isn't scripted, short, and sharp, nobody sticks around. It literally makes or breaks your video. You cannot edit your way out of a poorly scripted intro. That is a rule I've absolutely lived by these last few years. The first 30 seconds of a video completely dictates how your video turns out. Most creators literally waste their time rambling or talking about irrelevant stuff. Your intro is the most sacred part of your video. You cannot waste time rambling about crap that hasn't got anything to do with the title or thumbnail. You cannot afford to be doing that. Now, the actionable lesson here, obviously the intro is everything. Your first 30 seconds has to hook the viewers instantly. So for example, there's a few things you can do here. I have a little bit of a framework that I like to use, and this is basically what you do. So first, what you can do is have like a little clip montage hook. Basically open with 2 to 3 provocative videos from the actual video. So if you're making a reaction video, for example, on, we'll go back to the Zong example. In this video of me talking about Zong, I basically reacted to like 5 or 6 shorts in the actual content. Have the best 2 to 3 showing at the start right here. And then have a quick reaction line in between each short being like, what did I just watch? Or what the hell is this? Something like that. Then once you've introduced the video, you can basically just do like a quick little, you know, like, alright everyone, welcome back, something like that. Literally have this be one line. Do not like talk about, do not welcome people back for more than 2 to 3 lines. That's a big mistake I used to do back in the day. Then you can do a topic setup, so like briefly explain what the video is about, like have a bit of B-roll showing during this little intro part right here. Then just a little call to action, basically telling people to keep watching. That right there should not go for more than a minute. And once you get through that minute, that's when you just start basically doing the whole reaction video. You guys can save this if you want. You can screenshot this part of the video. This is probably the absolute best thing for beginners to do, and I'd highly recommend anyone who's starting out to use that framework. Now, the main video. So after we've done the intro, right? Basically, it's pretty simple. Just play like 5 to 20 seconds of content, react, and repeat. That's basically what you do for the rest of the video. Treat every clip like it could be the first time that someone sees it. That's a good point I like to give out. There really isn't much of a need to script every line after the intro, unless you're doing like a voiceover style commentary. So Monk, I like to script basically every word that I say. For Glider Guy, it's a little bit different. Glider Guy is just more like raw reactions and just like looking at crazy content. So I like to have my own raw reactions inside the video. So I'll only script the intro part of this right here. Another point, which is kind of separate, is do not have any closing language. And what I mean by that is saying like, you know, we've got the last clip right here, or we're almost done with the video. Never say that until literally the last line of the video. Because what happens when you do that, for example, this is a 20-minute video right here. If I start talking about, oh, you know, the video is almost done around like 18 minutes in or 19 minutes in, I'm literally going to lose like 10% of my retention here. Let's say I've got like 17% viewers left at 18 minutes. If I start talking about, oh, the video is almost over, or this is the last clip, something like that, this is going to drop so quickly and will go down to like 5% by the end of the video. And that 5 to 10% can absolutely be the difference between your video staying at 100 views or going to 10,000 views. I'm telling you right now. So please, for the love of God, have your outro literally just be one sentence. So react to a clip, talk about it, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this clip is crazy. And then as soon as you're done with your last reaction clip, literally just say, I'm done with this topic right now. Click the video on screen right now because YouTube thinks you'll enjoy it, blah, blah, blah. You'll notice I do that a lot in Ricky videos, and I do it in my commentary videos as well. And for the outro as well, just another little tip, what you can do is you can do an end screen. What I like to do is set the video as best for viewer, and I make sure that the actual video only goes for like 5 seconds right here at the very last point. Make sure I set it as best for viewer and just say like, click the video on screen right now because YouTube thinks you'll enjoy it, because YouTube will literally handpick this video as like the best video that the viewer wants to watch. Now the target word count, if you're scripting out your entire video, should be about 1,300 words. That'll probably get you about 8 to 9 minutes. Obviously, as you guys should know, when you have an 8-minute video, you can put mid-rolls in your video. video and it'll get you more money. Now, the takeaways from this. So basically, hook the viewers fast at the very, very start. So have a clip, reaction, intro, setup. That's basically the idea that I like to have. Script the intro word for word and then freestyle the rest if needed. Never tell anyone that the video is ending early. Like, always push one more clip or always push something else before you talk about any closing language. And what this outro call to action thing that I just talked about does is builds bingeable videos, right? With a consistent call to action and end screen linking on every single video. If you do that, you will make people watch videos after video after video. They will keep clicking on your end screens, and if you can build a binge watch session on your channel, there is absolutely no chance that it won't blow up. Like genuinely, like that is basically how you blow your channel up. Have return viewers come back clicking more and more end screens. That's basically how you do it. Now we move on to recording. So here's the thing. Your first few videos are going to suck. No script or course or tutorial is going to change that. Your recording is not something that I can sit here and tell you how to do and make it good. Like, I've been doing it for 7 years now, so I can literally pull up a mic and do it as good as I can. But the thing you gotta understand, right, is that if you've never recorded videos before, recording a video and speaking to yourself in a room with no one in it is absolutely awkward. And your presentation is going to be stiff, it's going to be slow. But the thing is, right, is that that's normal. And the only way you can improve your recording skills is just by doing it more and more. It sounds simple, right? It sounds obvious, but it's absolutely the truth. And once you've made 600 or 700 videos like I have, it comes natural. Like, bro, I'm literally talking. No one is in the room with me right now. This is the most awkward thing a human can do. I'm literally talking directly to a camera right now. I can sit here and say, oh, I'm talking to you guys. I'm talking to the people watching this video. But realistically, I am just talking to a camera. Like, it's awkward, right? But the only way that I've gotten comfortable doing this is just by doing it over and over and over and over again. Start simple. Do not overthink this process, right? Just focus on being entertaining and being yourself. And if it's unscripted, just have fun with it, bro. Like, throw in jokes, like, go off script a little bit if you have to. And if it's scripted like Monk, like for example, this Monk channel right here, the number one thing is try not to be too robotic. That's something I definitely struggled with when I first scripted my entire videos. Just try and keep your energy natural and consistent as you possibly can. Now, the second thing is that you have to accept, like I said, you have to accept that you're going to be very bad at first. Your mic delivery, your pacing and confidence is all going to suck early on. It usually probably takes about 3 to 4 videos before you start getting the feel for it. Everyone goes through this. I went through it. A bunch of people that I talk to go through it as well. It's a rite of passage. You have to suck in your first few videos. It's going to happen. But like I said, do not stop until you've done 15 videos. Now, the technical setup right here, I'll talk a bit more in depth about this. Basically, obviously use OBS for your screen recording and use Audacity for your mic. Basically, what you do and what I can show you is what I've done for this recording, for example, is you literally press record on both of these right here, have your microphone up to about -20 on OBS, wait over 5 seconds, and then just literally do 2 claps like that. And then what you can do is you can turn your microphone down on OBS. And what that allows you to do is sync up your video. So when you go into the editing timeline, you can use these 2 claps that should be in both the Audacity recording and the OBS recording. And you should be able to sync it up like that. That's basically how I do it. Some people might have a different method, but that's just what I do. This makes the editing a whole lot faster and ensures that it's very clean. You know, you make sure that you got a high quality mic audio. If you're doing a voiceover only, like in Monk videos, for example, where I literally just like read from a script, just record about 8 to 9 minutes of straight audio in Audacity, and that should probably get you about a 10-minute video. Or if you're doing what I do, which is, you know, the OBS method, which you actually like screen record the actual clips that you're reacting to, make sure that the recording goes for about 12 to 13 minutes, and that'll get you an 8-minute video. Now we move on to editing, and this is a very important part. There's 2 different ways you can go about this. You can either edit yourself or you can outsource it. Now, outsourcing your videos, if you're watching this video right now, is probably not something you're able to do. And a quick tip as well, if you're like actually trying to turn this into a business like I am, outsourcing your thumbnails is usually the better thing to do first. So for example, when I started outsourcing stuff on my Glider Guy channel, the thumbnails is the absolute first thing I did. Firstly, it's a lot cheaper, and secondly, it's a lot higher ROI. When I say ROI, I'm talking about return on investment. Editing is very, very tedious, but it's absolutely essential to learn, and it is something that is going to be the hardest part of making videos. It's going to be the longest part of making videos, but you just have to do it. It's something that every YouTuber faces, and it's something you have to do at the very start. Don't overcomplicate this, right? Editing cannot fix a bad recording. So everything we've done before the editing part should make the editing process very, very simple. You don't need to overthink this, right? You don't need to add like too much stuff if you're not already good at making YouTube videos. If you know what you're doing and you can add a bunch of edits and make it as good as you can, then do that, right? But this is commentary, right? The actual scripting and recording should overtake, it should basically carry the entire video. It sounds cliche, right? But you cannot polish a turd. Now let's talk about software for a second. Obviously I use Premiere Pro because I do this full time, and Premiere Pro is probably the best editing software out there. And for your videos as well, if you want your editing to instantly be extremely good, I literally have a faceless editing pack right here, which you can download if you join my school community, which again will be top link in the description, but you don't have to use this if you don't want to. You can learn to edit by yourself, but just know that like this editing pack will literally make your videos like almost as good as the Glider Guy videos, and you don't need to be that good at editing to use it. In this, I have a bunch of sound effects, I have a bunch of actual like editing tools and like presets that you can use inside of Premiere Pro, and it's designed for audiences of the Glider Guy channel and Monk channel. So if you're doing, you know, commentary videos around the same sort of style as Monk and Glider Guy, I'd highly recommend using this editing pack. One thing I gotta say is that sound design is the most important part. A lot of people think all the visuals on screen and all like the cool flashy transitions are the most important part, but sound design is the most important, right? Because music drives emotion. If you can pick the right music for your video, you can literally have a blank still of like just nothing going on. You can have Minecraft parkour gameplay going through as you talk about different videos. If you learn how to do your sound design properly, it is absolutely going to carry your editing. There's a couple of examples with music I can give to you. So for example, if there's like a dark moment in a video, you can use like sad Minecraft music from this editing pack. If you're like roasting someone, you can use like a boss fight from Mario, for example, or like just something like that. Just make sure with music, like you're constantly switching it up. You're making sure that it fits, you know, the type of vibe that you're going for inside the video, and it fits what you're talking about, basically. Now the visuals and background, so there's a couple of things you can do. With the Glider Guy channel, I use Minecraft gameplay. If I can show a little B-roll thing of me using it. Here, for example, I use Minecraft gameplay. For the Monk videos, I literally just have like a little Monk PNG that I made inside of Photoshop with like an AI background. If I can find it, where is it? Yeah, right here. This is literally the background that I use like as default. And what I like to do is I use a lot of memes and GIFs inside of these, so this is a good example of me using a lot of GIFs. And subtitles down the bottom here, these are optional, but they just add a little bit of life to your videos. Now, the audio editing inside of Audacity, I don't want to go into too much detail because I'm currently recording right now, but if you use a bunch of these effects right here, the reason that we use Audacity to record is that you can make basically any microphone sound good. Using noise reduction, compression, EQ, and also the normalize feature here. If you use those, there's a bunch of videos on YouTube that'll show you how to do that. I'm not going to go into it right now because, you know, this video will be 3 hours long if I do. Now, the big mindset shift I want you to have right now is that your recording quality absolutely carries the video. Your editing can enhance it, right? But it cannot save a bad recording by any means. Your first few edits are going to suck. That's absolutely normal. Just keep doing the reps, keep getting feedback and iteration, and that is how you level up. Now, let's move on to posting. And this one's going to be pretty short, but posting at the wrong time can absolutely kill the momentum of your video, especially if you're starting to get a couple of views, like I was on the Monk channel when I first started. Now, I'm in the AEST time zone, which is like Australian Eastern Standard Time. A lot of the times you guys are going to be having American viewers, which like it doesn't matter what part of the world you're in. I literally live in Australia, and like basically more than half of my viewers are all from the US. If I can show down here, like literally all of them are from the US. So for me, I make sure that I post at the exact same time, which is 1:15 AM every single night. Basically just like try and make sure that you don't post on the hour, so don't post exactly on 9 PM or like 10 AM, something like that. Always post 15 minutes after. That's because notifications are pretty delayed on YouTube, and it's just something that I've noticed in my years of doing YouTube. Make sure you post before 9 AM ET, which is ideally before school or work for a lot of people, or after 3 PM ET, which is like after school or after work for a lot of Americans. So in Melbourne time, for example, that translates to like 11:15 PM or 5:15 AM for me. Translate that to your time zone. It's pretty simple. Don't overthink it, but just be smart with it, right? Your audience is probably mostly going to be under 18, so just align it with school schedules, essentially. Posting when viewers are asleep, so if I tried to post at like 2 PM right now, for example, like it is for me, I'd probably get 0 views, or I wouldn't get many views. Right, that's basically everything for the first 15 videos. So after you post your first 15 videos, there's a few things we need to talk about here. So if you've posted your first 15 long form videos and you aren't getting any return viewers at all, then something's probably wrong. Either with your execution, like you probably haven't followed the steps that I've talked about properly, or the channel itself. Maybe YouTubers actually, you know, shadow banned it. Maybe a lot of excuses that you might have about it being shadow banned, they might actually be real. If after the first 15 videos, you're literally sitting at no views. If you've got no motion, then there might be something wrong. Or what some people face, which is very common as well, is you might have a breakout video. You might have a video that gets a few thousand views and you don't milk it immediately. You're basically, you're literally actively sabotaging your own growth. So the lessons I got to teach here. So firstly, the 15 video baseline checkpoint. By 15 videos, you should have at least the following. You should have at least 10 like active viewers that come back and return to every single video. You should have a few views per video, so at least like 10 to 15. You should be following a consistent upload schedule, and this is the thing that you have to be like the most honest with yourself about. Have you actually followed your every 2 days, every day, or twice a week upload schedule? If you haven't, then don't check that off the list. You haven't done that right, and you need to keep going until you actually do. And lastly, have you actually posted both short and long form content? If not, right, you've either ignored the advice, you didn't improve in each video, or the channel is shadow banned, which is rare, but it can happen. I'm not denying that. So how I broke out on the mug channel is that, you know, all these videos right here, or like these first 4 basically got 0 views in the first day. Some of them got 10 because I had a couple shorts that went viral, and I linked the shorts as related videos to the long form content. And then this video right here called Roblox Kids Have Lost Their Minds. This video got 2 views in the first day, but then a couple days later, randomly exploded, getting 10,000 views in like the first week. So what I did after that, obviously, I did a couple of videos here where this Roblox video hadn't blown up yet, but then I instantly followed up with another Roblox Kids video. This got 5k views in the first day. So you can already see, like, once your first video blows up, immediately capitalize on it. I rinsed the absolute hell out of these Roblox videos. Basically, every day I was doing another Roblox video or something related to it. And then eventually I had my big break where I talked about a gym influencer right here who's like a rage bait guy. This got 400k views and I was monetized by then, literally in 23 days. The main summary about that is that, yeah, literally just milk. As soon as something blows up, as soon as something does well, milk it instantly and do videos around that topic, making sure you keep your packaging formula intact. And that right there should get you monetized. That should get you 1,000 subs. That should get you 4,000 hours of watch time. And if we literally break down how many views you need to actually get monetized, it's really not that hard if you think about it. We go to the calculator. You need 4,000 hours of watch time, right? Let's say, for example, you have an average view duration. So let's say you're posting 9-minute videos, you have a 3-minute average view duration. If we go 60 divided by 3, so, you know, this is like, so you need 20, like, you need 20, right? If you get 20 views, that's literally 1 hour of watch time. So 20 views equals 1 hour. 20 views times 4,000, you need about 80,000 views at a 3-minute average view duration to get yourself 4,000 hours of watch time. So I got this video right here, which got 50k views. I got another one with 13k views. Some of these videos started doing well as well. By this point, like, literally these 12 videos got me monetized. It's really not as hard as you think. It's simple maths, to be honest with you. And yeah, if you've followed literally everything I've done right now and you're not monetized, then you should probably go back and watch the video, to be honest. Rewind, go over every step, make sure you're doing everything properly because you should be monetized by this point. Like I said before, this was a very short recap of this entire, basically, faceless commentary course that I've got right here, where I go in so much more detail about every single step that I talked about today. If you want to join that, again, it's top link in the description. And if you're still having trouble, I have this calendar here where I go live literally every 2 weeks. I do a Q&A, which is an hour long. You can come into these Q&A calls and literally ask me questions one-on-one, and I will help you out one-on-one, getting your faceless commentary channel to blow up and actually start making money. Again, that's top link in the description, and it's the only link in the description. Anyways, if you found this video useful, YouTube thinks that this video on screen right now might also be useful, so I'll see you all over there. Subscribe.